We've been here for a while.
Yeah.
We tried to live stream, but it didn't work, so we're going to tape this puppy.
Well, it worked, but
it did work, but the audio was a little goofy.
The audio was like...
We have high standards here at Stay on Target.
We do.
We don't want to sound like we're
perfectionists.
shooting a show in the bathroom.
Yeah. Sound like we're in a tin can.
Clearly, that's exactly what it sounded like. So we're already ramped up. We're going to talk real quick because we've been talking for a while and sitting and such. More behind the scenes stuff you didn't need to know, but
McClunky.
You'll see it at the end of this video.
It was real McClunky.
Ready? Let's do a quick clap. Ready, McClunky. Ready? I'm McClunky on 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm McClunky.
McClunky.
And we're back.
Ooh, here we go.
Here we are.
Episode 5 of Stay on Target.
Yeah.
We're staying
but
on
it's
target.
episode 4.
It's chapter 4.
It's chapter 4. Now we're off.
Sanctuary!
That was a good... Instantly, that's what you thought of, right?
Yeah.
What's that from?
That was the old Hunchback of Notre Dame, my friend. Yeah.
Sanctuary!
That's right.
I thought it was from something else, too.
Well, I'm Dan.
Yeah.
This is Nick.
I am Nick.
And that's Dustin.
I am Dustin.
The Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian with his epic helmet
Look
there.
at his head.
It's
on top of his head.
It's a beautiful thing.
Dan's the one who keeps us on target.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know, not really. That's my job, but it is definitely a show about all things, but mostly Star Wars things.
The best.
So we are right into it this time with our favorite line, Nick.
I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
Yes, he definitely can.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was actually solid.
That was really good.
We watched another episode of The Mandalorian.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we were pretty hyped after 1, 2, and 3, and here we are for number 4.
Yeah.
This is the halfway point of the show.
Yeah.
From what I understand, it's about 8 episodes, so
right.
we're at halftime at the end of this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really kind of felt like the first 3 were like an arc all on their own.
Yes.
In a lot of ways. I mean, I know it's a full through, but this episode totally felt different.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah, it was definitely a new chapter.
Yeah.
Oh, the last 3 you could almost say were like 1A, 1B, and 1C.
Yeah.
In a way.
This is the next chapter of this series.
I mean, yeah. And everything so far has been amazing, but I'll let you guys go into this one more first.
I mean, you can talk.
I don't want to talk. I'm done.
Just keep going.
I'll just say we've been so hyped. I mean, episode 1 was amazing. We, of course, were out of our minds, as you saw in the reaction and thoughts videos.
Still are, really.
It's still out of our minds. But I mean, the first episode, we were just so geeked because we've been waiting for this thing forever. We're so excited. We gotta video it.
Right?
Yeah.
We gotta do
so
this.
we videoed it, and now here we are still. But and then the 2 and 3 that just kept going up and up and up.
Yeah.
And this one definitely continued the story. In my personal opinion, it didn't jump up to the level of 1, 2, and 3 over the next one. I think this was kind of like a reset button in a way.
It's kind of like a plateau.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes up a little.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's just completely different, you know? It's not on the same planet. It's completely different, for like a forest planet.
I think they actually said the name of this planet.
What was it?
They did.
Oh, yeah, they did.
They did.
What did he say, though?
Sagran or Sagan?
We need the fact check.
We always miss this stuff.
I need a fact check.
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, we miss this stuff, but this is the forest planet he came out on, and he talked to Baby Yoda. He's like, we need to find a spot to lay low for a couple of months, he said. Because clearly after the 3rd chapter, stuff was pretty intense.
Yeah.
He just blew the roof off of that town, and the Mandalorians just literally took it to the Bounty Hunters Guild.
Needs to go lie low for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably wanted for murder.
Because everybody wants... when all the Bounty Hunters fobs light up at once.
Yeah.
Like John Wick style.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to get crazy. And so, that hasn't worn off, so he's got to go hide.
Yeah.
So he goes to this cool jungle planet. Hey, we'll lay low, no big deal. So it kind of starts off setting the pace. It's a peaceful place.
It's very slow paced from the other. Well, I mean, you could say the other episodes are slow paced at first, but This one like starts slow paced and continues to be slow paced.
Yeah.
Until like the final scene. But yeah.
It's
just different.
It's just different. Yeah. It was a pivot. It was a new director, from what I understand.
Yep.
Bryce Dallas Howard directed it. I don't think she's directed anything this high profile.
No.
So it's kind of new territory for her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then episode 1 was new territory for Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
You know,
true.
Directing
At least
first time to live action directing.
First time live, because he's done. He did all the Clone Wars and Rebels, stuff like
He's done
that.
all kinds of Star Wars stuff. But Bryce Dallas Howard, of course, the daughter of Ron Howard, who directed Solo.
Yep.
And worked with George Lucas a lot.
Yeah.
Historically. Back
Oh, yeah.
With Willow.
Who? Wait,
Well, he did Willow.
Oh.
Wasn't that Lucasfilm?
I believe Willow was Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
And wait, who did that one again? Who are you talking
Ron
about?
Howard.
Ron
Howard,
Howard. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he worked with
The father
George
of Bryce Dallas, who directed this episode.
Yeah. I thought it was good. I think sometimes the only jarring things in some ways, not jarring. It's not jarring. It still works seamlessly, but it's just I'm starting to notice a bit of a difference in directors.
Yeah. And this,
but
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just the episodes themselves, how they're
100% agree with you.
laid out.
Yeah.
But this episode did feel a lot different from the other ones. But a big reason I think for that was just because they started not with the Mandalorian on this one.
Yeah.
That was a
what we're
big
talking
thing
about.
for me. I didn't realize it at first until you were talking about it later.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it was like, it didn't start with the Mandalorian, and it didn't really feel super Star Wars right in the beginning,
Right.
just because it was so different. But in some ways, it's nice to have a change. It does change the pace a lot, but it totally changed things. I mean, the first 3 episodes are like lone gunfighter, shoot 'em up, let's get it done, let's do this thing. Big
In a
battles.
dangerous
To a-
worlds everywhere he went.
Yeah.
Everything was out to get him.
And it's still a dangerous world.
Yeah.
Which the name of the world is Sorgon.
Yeah.
Sorgon, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorgon or
Sorgan.
not Sargon, because
No.
that
Sorgan.
Sorgan.
Yeah.
Sorgon is the name of this planet. Is I believe the first planet they've actually said.
Right.
I think you're right.
Because I don't think they've said the planet of either of the other two. Anyway, so that was different, and it's the first time that we weren't specifically following the Mandalorian,
Yeah.
which took you out of it in the beginning.
Yep.
And I still think it was okay. It just felt it was just a little slower pace, but it was some action right in the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But it didn't
changed things.
It kind of didn't really feel like Star Wars. You were talking about everything changed.
Yeah.
Like literally whenever they go in to the village, and the first thing that popped in my head was everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Because literally it reminds me of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
It really did.
And oh my gosh, just how they dress and like everybody's the same color. I was like,
yeah.
even the first scene, they're krill farmers, and the show started, and I'm like, huh. Somehow I got onto National Geographic. Like I was like, what am I watching? I don't realize what's going on.
That's true. That's true. I think the only thing about that was that they were bright blue.
Yeah, that was the only difference from.
And right
actual
before
krill.
that, they show like all the faces, Star Wars faces.
That's true.
But still, the blue krill were. It was interesting. That was interesting. I don't mind seeing a little bit more of a different world, but it really felt like you could have put this in any sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been not even sci-fi. I mean, it could have just been like native somewhere.
Right, yeah.
So that was the only thing. The only thing though that really made it Star Wars was like a droid went by.
Yep.
You know, and you were like, oh, okay,
Fishing
there's
for
Star
krill.
Wars.
I guess because up until this point, every other episode, like I didn't even think about, is this Star Wars? They did such a good job of making you feel like there's enough in the world. And of course, every other episode, just about every moment, you're in with the Mandalorian.
Yep.
So you see him, you're like, yeah, this is Star Wars.
Yeah.
Or Baby Yoda. And then the first couple minutes start off on this, kind of peaceful existence, this peaceful village. It's the first time they showed a little subplot away from the Mandalorian. Some other event happened somewhere else other than the Mandalorian being there. It's the first time they've done that. So it was a little weird. It was kind of like we're so used to just seeing the Mando. Where is he? What's he doing? And then they jump right in with something that wasn't the Mando.
Right.
And it's okay. It's good. I liked seeing the piece expanding the Star Wars universe.
Right. And then they get attacked by bulldog people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's another thing.
It was another thing that kind of just like, I mean, it fits a little bit, but I mean, what brings it back to Star Wars is when, they start firing lasers, and you're like,
right.
Oh, that's what universe we're in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I just to sum that up, basically for all of us, the opening of this episode, albeit still done pretty well, we weren't disappointed by it in any way. It was still good.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And the shots fired. I mean, you could kind of tell that those shots being fired were from the ATST or from something big, just by the sounds of it and the angle that they were shooting.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and you heard like the footsteps and stuff like that, which I thought was cool. But basically, it wasn't 11 status.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
11 to 12 status like the rest of the episodes have been. I think though it was kind of to establish that this is going to be a bit more of a slower paced episode.
Right.
With a bigger payoff at the end, though, I'd say.
Yeah.
So but it was a little jarring just for the fact that we haven't gone away from the Mandalorian at all until this moment, and I still feel like there could have possibly been a way where you could have worked it.
You could have done it differently.
You could have done it differently, so it was still following the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But that's just us. How we feel about it. I mean, that's just how we feel about it. It's we're not ripping on it at all. Just it felt a little different. It was just different. So we were just unsure. At least I was unsure as to how it felt. And I think we were all just waiting for, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I was just waiting for the Mandalorian to show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like, how long is this opening thing? And then it got to, hey, Mandalorian, where is he at? Because then as soon as it jumped to the opening title scene, title card or whatever they call that.
Back to the Mandalorian.
Then it's back to the Mandalorian. As soon as that, I was like, okay, back home, Baby Yoda, super cute moment.
It jumped up. Yeah, it jumped up right again from there.
Back up to there. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I almost was like, that first part, I'm sure they're going to revisit it, but let's just follow the Mando for a while. And I don't even, I don't know if like 4 episodes or before the beginning of the show started, would I be in that position thinking about that,
Right.
Like I didn't realize that 2 minutes of the show without the Mando, I'm already like, I just want to see the Mandalorian.
Right. I just want to.
Well, that's how good they've done with the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And they've sowed so much good seeds, so many good seeds in the first 3 episodes that, like, honestly, I'm like, I can handle this.
Yeah.
This maybe doesn't feel perfectly like Star Wars, but hey, it's all good.
Right.
Let's get back to it.
Also, the only other thing about those scenes and stuff like that was, I think the first time it felt like to me that this is a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way, because like the people were all similarly dressed, stuff like that. But which does happen in Star Wars a lot of the time. But it still felt a little bit more. There weren't like aliens with those people. I think those were all humans too.
Yeah. Right.
And then, for it to feel like Star Wars, a lot of times you want to see more aliens. You want to see more things that you don't normally see, like on planet Earth.
Exactly.
Which I think the only thing that was in the first scene again were the blue krill and the
that one droid.
The one droid.
Yeah.
Other than that, the blue dog species.
They could have been from any sci-fi.
They could have been from any sci-fi, and that felt a little bit Star Trek-y to us.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It was just different, and then you just didn't. It just kind of almost took us out of the Mandalorian and put us. It felt almost more like it would have worked better in like a Clone Wars series show, in a Clone Wars TV show, or animated. It felt like it would have maybe worked a little bit more animated than live action. And again, there just wasn't a lot there. We've talked about this probably too much already.
Yeah.
Right.
So fast forwarding though,
forwarding a little
more
bit.
themes into the show. I'd say bigger picture. It was a different episode in the sense that we haven't seen so many human actors in any episode so far. We've seen a few, but it's just been big actors. Most of them have been aliens. I mean, the ratio of aliens to humans.
Yeah.
There was a lot of human, what do they call them in the Star
Humanoid.
Wars? Yeah, humanoid.
Yeah.
Straight up humanoid. They weren't like
The tons of different species.
Right, yeah.
with
they
corn.
weren't some other species. They were mostly humanoid, and they seemed very like indigenous people, like you see in what's that show you were talking about?
I don't know, what was I talking
Avatar.
about? Avatar.
Oh, yeah.
Avatar,
The Last Airbender.
or any of those shows. But I guess it was different because there's just more required out of a human actor, facial expressions and all that.
Yeah.
And I felt like it wasn't delivering throughout the episode on the level that we had come to expect. On the Mando, you just see his helmet move and he does this cool stuff and his voice is awesome. Baby Yoda just gives you the cute eyes. You got Werner Herzog is just amazing. Right. And then you got Apollo Creed. Was his Billy? Not Billy D. Williams. The other guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's his name?
Anyhow,
just lost it. It'll come back to us.
Yeah. Anyway, he's an amazing actor, and so other than that, so this one relied on a whole village of humanoid actors, and overall, I'd say the performances. Maybe it was a lack of directing or something there.
Yeah,
it's a new director too, like you said. I don't think she's done much directing.
It didn't seem to carry throughout the episode. Every time the humans kind of came on the scene, it's cool. Like there were some good moments, and of course we got to get to they introduced the new girl that we've been talking about. Cara Dune. Yeah.
We don't know.
I think they said it both ways.
Yeah, they
did they?
Because I think Mandalorian said Cara Dune.
Okay, the ex-shock trooper.
Trooper.
So,
but I was gonna say though, after that first scene, which was basically establishing the episode, really, and what was to come.
Mm-hmm. Carl Weathers. That was the
Carl Weathers. Yeah, good. Also, in that scene, when they jumped under the basket, I would have waited like another hour before coming out of that basket.
They did,
just to make sure.
Come out really quickly.
I also thought it was funny when they jumped into the basket. Like one of the next shots was one of those dog people stepping on a basket.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, they're going to step on that basket that they're hiding under.
Right.
Foreshadowing.
But I mean, it's in the water, so they'd be like, ooh,
splash.
I just stepped off a dock.
Maybe the dog people can't swim.
Right.
Oh, they can only doggy paddle.
Good one.
Mandad.
Mandalorian.
He'll be here all week.
Yeah.
No, but once we got to the Mandalorian and that scene, cutest Baby Yoda ever still. Touching buttons. That's just the grace.
Yeah.
Touching the buttons is hilarious. And then he
slowly goes to touching.
Yeah, seriously.
Grabs him, sets him on his lap like he's a bad kid. I love that.
Yeah.
Still trying to touch things. Also, why would he kept telling him to stay?
Okay.
Yeah.
In the cockpit.
Yeah. Like you stay.
But he just was touching all the buttons that he didn't want him to touch. Why would he leave him? I would have frozen him with carbonate. No,
or put him in like a pack and play. Right, or a little baby yard thing that like this area is safe. You can play with the little toys I gave you, which is just the one ball.
But I mean, you can use the force. So.
Yeah, that's true.
He could just get us out.
Fly.
Which I'm pretty sure that's what he did because he literally puts him in the cockpit, goes to the door, and he's literally right there. He's like,
it's a new horsepower, teleportation.
It's called.
It was the shot, right? It was right after
this.
Right after the shot. Yeah. Anyway, so we get to the town, and it was slow pace for sure. Yeah. And they're moving. I once we got to the Mandalorian, though, I feel like anytime the Mandalorian's on screen, it feels great.
Feels like Star Wars.
His interactions with things are great. Yeah. I agree. Some of the acting was a little. Some of it just almost. Wooden, a little bit forced.
Yeah,
it was either they were overacting or underacting. It didn't feel like it hit the sweet spot. The only time it felt okay was actually those two goofy guys.
Yep.
When the scene with him
felt
talking
natural.
about that one felt more natural. It was still a little bit. It felt like everybody was nervous.
Yeah, even
it
that.
Still felt like everybody was nervous to be in the show.
Yeah,
like this is Star Wars, and I totally understand that. I would suck probably.
And the other actors, to be fair, probably were really nervous, but they just had like alien faces over, so you couldn't see that.
You couldn't see their nerves.
Yeah, and even the main guy, the Mandalorian's probably been nervous, but he's got this helmet over his face, so you don't see that. So this is, like I said, the first time you're really relying on these people.
All of the other actors, human actors that we've seen are more veteran actors.
Yeah,
like they've done a lot of acting.
Like you were saying, it's like we haven't seen that many people.
This was
like together.
This is the most.
There's like 40 of them at least
at that village. Yeah,
this is the most amount of human people.
Most of the time, it's just like one or two together.
Yeah,
and if they're in it, they're usually only in it for like a
split
second, or they're not saying lines.
Yeah,
the only other humans I think that really said lines was like the guy in the beginning who was speaking Huttese.
Yep.
And then there's Carl Weathers.
Yep.
There's
Werner Herzog. The scientist.
Yeah. But that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a whole episode, I think episode 2, there was a whole episode where we didn't even see a human character.
Yeah.
which was awesome.
Which
That's
was
so Star Wars.
Which was an amazing Star Wars episode.
That was a feat. So
man.
Yeah.
So this episode, we saw more humans than we did aliens. And that was just a different twist, different thing. It felt a little, I think that helped. That made it feel a little bit more like a TV show, like sci-fi TV show than anything. But it still works, The Mandalorian. I mean, we're seeing another side of the galaxy we don't normally see. So it made sense for a lot of reasons that there's not as many aliens. There's not as much technology because it is a planet where there's not, it's not a hub. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, they're farmers.
So
it's,
off the beaten path.
It's away from like big settlements and stuff.
How do you riddle me this?
Yeah.
He shows up to this planet. He does a quick scan to show that there's no ports, there's no whatever, Imperial presence or any of that stuff. How does he just happen to fly right over the village? The whole planet wide.
The middle of nowhere.
I'm assuming he's got some kind of life form detection thing.
It must be something like that.
But if he was really trying to lay low,
would he just landed there, right?
Wouldn't he not want to fly right over the village?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That always cracks me up, like how they just
it was just
they managed to find the
shot.
It's a good shot. Yeah, we see him coming in
for the story.
Yeah.
We see the villagers see the ship come in.
Yeah. Right. So anyway, I guess we can move it along a little bit.
So I want to ask you guys a couple questions.
Go ahead.
So he gets into that cantina. He sees this other lady. He's like, how long has she been there? Starts asking a couple questions. Then she disappears, right? Cara Dune's first appearance on the show.
Yeah.
She's in the, main picture of the Mandalorian, graphic. So this is her big introduction, right? So she jumps in or she disappears. They go outside and they have this little scuffle. What'd you guys think of the action?
Between the two of them?
The fight, the first fight of hers on screen.
I mean, it was good. I don't know. It seemed kind of like, I mean, the fight was great. I'm saying like the afterwards, it seemed like they already knew each other. Yeah. Which was kind of confusing to me because I was like, do they know each other? Or because they're all like buddy suddenly. Yeah. And it's just like, okay. She thinks he's part of the guild, which he is, but she thought he had a fob on her, and that's why she fought him so bad. And it's like, okay.
They seemed to warm up rather quickly.
Yeah, they warmed up rather quickly. And
I
was like, I mean, I guess you got to progress the show really fast.
Yeah.
And,
she told her whole life story, and the first time they just finished a fight, and
Yoda was like, "Oh, fighting each other. Now let me tell you my backstory." Yeah, I was like, "Okay, I don't know about this."
That was a little interesting. Yeah. I'd say the action sequence itself wasn't terrible.
The choreographed fight,
as far as the fight went. I was wondering who was gonna win. I was like, they can't have either win. Yeah, really.
So you definitely saw how strong she is as a fighter and not afraid.
That
was the point they were getting across. I mean, she cross-checked him and he went
his legs
slamming to the ground and like flexed.
Once she like punched him down.
Yeah.
He was just like,
he like snapped like the flex.
Did a scorpion.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Which was,
she picked him up with one arm. I was like, dang.
Right.
Yeah. So there was some, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And then it was a draw, which made sense. Yeah. And I was wondering if they were going to do that.
Yeah.
And I think just the baby Yoda showing up there with him, which was hilarious, just drinking the soup, which apparently they drink bone broth.
Bone broth. Yeah.
Bone broth.
Yeah, it's good for you.
Oh, yeah. Hearty soup.
But yeah, and then I think he broke the tension with, you want some soup?
He's literally just like.
This is a great line. Yeah. How the Mandalorian was like, you want some soup?
You want some soup?
That was a good comic.
Kind of comic relief there moment. In a way. And I think that diffused the situation so then they could talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Her acting there, the first time I watched it, it really didn't bother me. It was more the second time I noticed that she was a little bit like
her
expressions, and she kind of did like the same one kind of with how she was doing stuff.
Yeah.
But not bad. I mean,
kind of
really
like me when
bad.
I act in our little film.
Right.
Yeah.
Acting is hard. I mean, honestly, acting is hard.
It's very hard.
It's not easy.
That's why when you see an actor and you're like, they're so good at that role.
So
that's because they've done it.
Yeah, and you don't even feel like they're acting. They just are that person, and that goes to good casting. like
Become another person.
Become another person.
like Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
Like he is that guy.
Right, yeah.
I even saw an interview of Filoni. He's like, we cast him because he is that guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to stray too far.
Mando!
Mando!
Yeah, he just feels that
You're
way.
a legend.
You're a legend.
So I feel like this Cara Dune that is who she is. She's a tough, real life fighter.
Yeah.
You know, who doesn't have to say a lot. She just proves that she's tougher than you or can hang with you by how strong she is.
I think they should have. I still feel like they should have played her a little bit more straight tough.
Yeah.
She was almost giving some attitude with things. And whenever you throw in like that attitude, that's whenever you have to come across the right way in acting. And maybe that's who she is. So maybe it works better for her. But I almost feel like she should have just played like the more straight, tough. Yeah. But the tough thing about that is that's how the Mandalorian is. He's the straight, tough guy, but he does have some kind of funny lines like, you want some soup?
You want some soup?
Whenever they're pointing guns at each other's heads.
Yeah.
I thought it was a decent introduction to the character.
Yeah.
She fought. It made sense. But also begs a question, if she thought he had a fob going after her, did she do something wrong?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
What's
I feel like
going
there's
on
more
there
to be uncovered there.
with her?
Well, because she's an ex-shock trooper.
Yeah.
For the rebels.
For the rebels?
Yeah, she's
Okay.
not, unless she just, like, up and left, unless she was a deserter.
Maybe that's what.
Maybe that's what it is.
She thought
maybe
there was
she
a fob
deserted
on
the
her
rebels.
first. Yeah.
Okay.
Because she said it was like an early retirement. Why she's there.
Yeah.
And I think it's her just leaving the rebellion. You know, because she didn't want to protect diplomats and. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
But their chemistry, their chemistry right off the bat seemed to work. I felt like why they were so chummy was because basically it was just like two warriors like talking to each other about stuff.
Well, and see
they could respect each other for that.
That
regard.
reinforces like my theory of like, do they already know each other?
I don't think they knew each
or
other.
It's just a common.
I think it
common
was just
ground.
I think it was just they had mutual respect for each other.
Okay.
Because she was a shock trooper, which is high up.
Because
she's a tough. And also because they basically duked it out and
Drew,
which was like, okay, I respect you for that,
right.
which is huge.
Yeah.
But and also I wanted to talk about basically the Predator scene. Whenever there's
great.
a couple Predator scenes, but how he was able to track
Predator the movie,
footprints.
Not,
Yeah. Predator the movie with like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Get to the chopper.
Yes.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Go. No, but how he was tracking her footprints, the heat left over from the footprints, which is cool. And but both of us kind of were like, obviously, if the footprints are gone, look up.
There's only one
like,
direction.
Where else would they have gone?
Right.
They'd fly away.
Right, yeah.
She
just
kinda
disappeared.
It was like,
She took her shoes off.
look, Mando.
Carl Weathers shows up.
Yeah.
She went up, Mando.
Mando!
Yeah.
Looks points out, Mando! But so that was interesting. I like that though. I like that they've been showing more with his helmet and what all it can do.
What it can do.
Because that's the cool thing about like Mandalorians is their gear a lot of the time is so cool.
Oh, yeah.
And a short little thing noticed was whenever he turned on his flamethrower, which was kind of dumb. Why do you turn on your flamethrower before?
Yeah.
You should turn on your flamethrower.
Turned it on.
That's the only little action gripes I think we have sometimes. It's like turn on your flamethrower.
Oh, you're talking about the fight with her?
Yeah.
He like turns it on first and then
swings it around. It's like, I'm going to telegraph what I'm doing.
That's true. That's
like, I'm turning it on. Here we go.
It's just weird though. It's like, did he know? Like he didn't want to just, I feel like he could have just like ended her quickly.
Yeah.
But then again, he's had some grapples with stormtroopers where he kind of got pushed down first, and almost every fight he's had so far, he's been beat down, and then he gets he's like, kind of like Rocky.
Scrapper.
Yeah,
kind of. It's not about how hard you can get.
Parallels.
It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep getting up or something like that. Yeah,
that's Obi-Wan.
It's Obi-Wan.
Oh man,
overcoming adversity.
Yeah, it's crazy. So they basically get asked to help this village.
Yeah.
Which is the basic plot of this film. So they start working together, and the guys come. It kind of reminds me very much of a lot of different stories that we've seen before. One mainly being Seven Samurai.
Yeah.
That's I think they drew a lot of inspiration from that.
Yeah, which then Magnificent Seven was based on Seven Samurai. Mm-hmm. Although they didn't get 7 people to fight, but A Bug's Life even is based on that.
Yep.
Where they get some fighters.
Yep.
And
look, hey.
Yeah, so you guys keep talking for a minute. But
it definitely felt like that. And there's actually a Clone Wars episode, I think it's in season 2, where bounty hunters actually get hired by a village to protect them from pirates raiding their village. So it almost is identical to that.
Yep.
And in some ways, because I watched that and know of all these other films, it's kind of like I knew it was going to happen, and it kind of took away the surprise of this episode in a lot of ways, just because we've seen this been done so many times before.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it was done in a new way, and they added some new things to it, which I liked. But it kind of took away, like you kind of knew it was going to happen.
Right.
You knew, this is how it's going to go.
Well, they were imploring them to help them, and he was like...
And that was a good scene. I like that scene.
Yeah, but she was like, I don't know about this. Are you talking about the 2 guys at the ship?
Yeah, I like that scene. Sorry.
Yeah. Oops. I have spoken.
Oh, yes, you have. You can't change my mind.
No, when they were at the ship and they're asking him, and he's like, I don't know about that. And how did he eventually decide to come around?
It's not. He said it was not enough money.
No, he said their village is far from
village
here.
is far away.
But that's what
and
they
you
said.
have lodging.
They were basically
and
walking.
they have lodging.
Yeah.
Yep. He's like, okay,
he's
it
like,
gets me far from
get
here.
on the ship.
Come help me. Basically, get my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they helped him out, and he got to they got to the village, and then he met up with the gal along the way, right?
Yeah, because he took the money, and he
went and found her in the woods.
Yep, and threw it to her and said, "Ready for round 2." Like they were gonna fight again, but it was actually helping him.
Right, which is so cool because that shot of her in the woods with just the campfire and all that stuff is just a cool Star Wars.
That was a cool one.
Like that's one that I've wanted us to have in our films, just like in the woods. Of course, every Star Wars fan film is in the woods.
We could have done like this whole thing felt fan film like in a lot of ways.
It did,
except for like in the buildings and stuff like that. But
$10 million, remember?
Yeah, still.
And I mean, if she,
this one might have been 5. No, I'm just.
They spent the money on what comes in the
$20
end of the movie.
That's true.
Yeah.
They had to save a lot of the money for what came at the end.
Right. Yeah. And if she's trying to hide out on this planet, she's not doing a very good job.
That's true. She kind of sticks out, maybe, right?
Like,
or she keeps.
Well, I mean, he just stumbles upon her in the woods, like, hey, there you are. Well, he doesn't even have a tracker.
Hey, you want to help me?
He's got the heat vision. He's got the heat.
Maybe he's put a tracker on her.
Oh, maybe he did. When they were
smart.
scuffling.
They were scuffling because she's like, there's only room for one of us on this planet.
Yeah, so basically I was here first, and you got to leave.
Yep, beat it is what she told him.
That's true because she could have been anywhere.
Yeah.
How did he know where she was?
Exactly.
It does feel like the smallness, though. I've heard that said before about this show.
Yeah.
Like, as opposed to like a film with like a grand sprawling landscapes, like the whole bounty hunter and Mandalorian fight scene kind of happened in like one small section of a street, and then even the battle were on the first episode where it was one small corridor of that little village where not even a village, whatever it was. So, and this is kind of another. It kind of felt like, okay, well, here's where that cantina is. You parked a ship over here, like a couple blocks away, and then here's the village over here. The far away didn't feel far away.
Yeah,
but
I really feel like the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it just kind of felt like it was down the road. But that's the nature of that's the nature of a TV show, maybe. Yeah. But
because otherwise, it would take if you really made it feel. They could have, but I mean, they did kind of make it feel that way in episode 1. Because they showed them going across landscapes.
Yeah, the speeder bike. And then he got on the ship.
But I guess on this planet, it would have just been more woods. Yeah. And they did show them going to sleep.
Yeah.
To get there, and then they woke up. So it was like that, I guess. But
but
still, I get what you're saying. The smallness of this, but I think the smallness of the show kind of helps keep it focused.
Yeah.
Stay on target.
Yeah. Roll credits.
But I think that helps with the show a little bit, just to keep it more focused, and you don't have to worry about the grand scheme of the galaxy at this point. I'm wondering if they will open it up to more in this eventually as the seasons progress.
Yeah, probably.
But I kind of like the smallness of this show so far.
Yeah,
and just focusing on him and the cool factors. But anyway, so they just getting through the episode a little bit. We did get to now we're basically already at the village, right?
Yep.
I mean, and I liked it, but I did like the scene with those 2 guys coming in. That one felt like a little bit more natural acting in a little bit.
Yeah.
They were still a little goofy.
Yeah,
but
seemed kind of nervous.
Yeah,
they did an okay job.
But it made sense for goofy farmers asking
Right,
the
yeah.
Mandalorian. You know, they were nervous, but it kind of worked more though for me. Those actors actually seemed all right for me.
Yeah, that's
For
true.
that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even in Seven Samurai, the guys that kind of ask them to help him out are a little goofy on the little goofier side. You know, you kind of just get who they are. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
You don't expect a whole ton from them, and they played the part well.
It's fun. I just had an idea. It was like, I know that Jon Favreau, the idea of this whole show was based off of the films that directly influenced Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So he mentioned, what was it, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yep.
Basically,
Yeah,
that's like
true.
almost the arc of like the first three. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That's almost how it feels.
That's true.
Yeah, it is
and this
true.
is
And
kind of
now
the Seven
this one
Samurai.
has totally
or,
Right.
switched
yeah,
to Seven Samurai.
Whoa.
So it's like,
interesting.
Oh.
so what's the next one going to be? He's mentioned a few others.
Yeah.
We should predict the
You'll have
next
to
one.
predict it.
Right.
Go look it up.
I'll have to look it up. I'll have to watch
Can you
what
lift
that
your
is.
hood just a little
Sorry,
bit?
Yeah.
That's okay. I can't see your eyes at that camera.
Can see your eyes.
I should have put it lower, but cool. So let's fast forward a little bit.
Yeah,
They
we
get
gotta
into
get
the
move on.
village.
Yeah.
They did talk a little bit about the Mando and that the lady
Yeah.
that was giving him a place to stay asked him if he ever takes his helmet off, which they just directly mentioned in the last episode,
Yeah.
right? With the
Yeah.
Mandalorians.
Oh, yeah.
And he said he took it off yesterday.
Right,
That's
which
just
was
funny.
like,
I like that he
wait,
said
what?
Yesterday? What? Like kind of blew my mind. I'm like, I
Yeah.
figured he'd be like, never.
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And
So they do
then-
sleep with the helmet on.
Yeah.
Right? We talked about that.
Yeah.
too.
Right. Oh my gosh.
And then shortly thereafter, after talking about that, he explained that he was truly a foundling,
Yep.
Yeah. Which new
truly
information.
raised by the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like we surmised
They
that based
saved
on what
him,
they'd given
yeah.
us in the first
So-
couple of episodes, but they just laid the hammer and confirmed all
Yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
he's, I mean, as far as we know, he's not Mandalorian then.
Right.
I mean, I guess
Right.
they don't say what planet he's from originally.
Right.
No.
Was it on Mandalore when that happened? I mean, it was the Clone Wars, or a section of Mandalore, or like a
Yeah, exactly. My
or,
thoughts.
That one.
like a, what am I trying to say? Whenever they own like a certain other piece of land, like the moon one is one that they own. Wow.
They're landowners.
No, but like, how like United States owns other
Territories.
territories.
Yeah.
That's
Mandalorian
kind of
territories.
Like a Mandalorian
Yeah.
territory is what
Yeah,
I was trying to say.
Could have
and
been. It
failing
very well could have
miserably.
been. But then,
But it probably not though, because he said the
Yeah.
Mandalorians took him in,
Yep.
yeah.
And he was grateful.
and he was grateful. Which
So you think
is
the
what we were kind of
Mandalorians-
wondering?
Yeah, but then does that mean that the Mandalorians in that shot that they showed, and wasn't it just the last episode where he's about to get shot by that droid, and some, then it stops?
Yeah.
How does he get saved? Is it a Mandalorian that comes and saves him?
Right. Yeah.
Is it a Jedi that comes and saves him?
That's a
Right.
really good
Is
question.
it actually Yoda that comes and saves him?
Oh. That's why
But
he's so
the
drawn to
only
Baby
thing
Yoda.
that only thing that makes it weird for me for that is if it's Yoda that saves him or Jedi, then how does he not know about the Force?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true.
Unless they never show him the Force whenever he's
They
like,
wiped his memory.
if he stabs if they just cut the droid in half with the lightsaber, that doesn't mean they're using the Force.
Right.
So it makes me think that the Mandalorians are the ones
Yeah.
that are going to save
Yeah,
him,
They show up and
That's
and
true.
then they take
Yeah.
him, and that's why he's always been with them.
Yep.
Everything owes to them, and then that's why he doesn't know about the Force. But anyway,
Oh, that's cute.
okay.
thanks, Dan.
Well, random thoughts.
You're
from Dan.
cute.
I don't
My
know what
next
he was
statement
looking
was going to be about how cute it was when he looked out that window and he saw Baby Yoda playing
Yeah.
Oh,
with the
yeah.
kid.
with the kids.
Man, every
Oh,
time.
yeah.
And then she's like, he could be happy here.
at. Right.
And so you could see the Mando's wheels spinning like,
yeah.
oh, you're right. He could
Right.
be happy
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
I think, maybe I could leave him here.
Yep.
Because you're
'Cause
like,
that's
what?
his goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, what are they going to do? And then he already starts feeling comfortable at this place with talking to that lady, and she's really
Yep.
nice, trying to get him to open up. And
I didn't understand their
Yeah.
instant
Those two hit it
connection.
off
they
creepily well.
another really close.
Is that all it takes? You just wear a helmet and all the ladies.
Well,
I'm
and
attracted
she
to
knew
you.
some about the
Never show
Mandalorian.
your face.
There's a reason I'm single, people.
That's the second time you said that in
I
4
know.
episodes.
Yeah, but yeah,
I'm just kidding.
we can divulge. We
man.
can go into that.
He
later
fell
on.
into a pit of despair.
pit of despair.
So yeah, basically they get along really well right away.
Yeah.
Then She gives him some food. I was like, how does the Mandalorian eat if he never takes his helmet off?
Yeah.
Straws.
Yeah,
straws.
Everything's
like
liquefied.
Liquid diet.
It's like a what are those called? A flurry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A McFlurry?
No, not a flurry.
Not a sponsor.
A slurry.
Yeah,
that's
a
what
slurry.
it is. Where
Yeah.
they
You're right.
Yeah.
Slurp it up.
All the food.
Shake up all like cheeseburgers.
Because they kept talking about it. You got to eat something. They kept talking about that. They offered him food in the in that cantina. Now they're like pushing food in front of him. We're like, we've never seen him eat.
And then
Maybe
he's like,
eats.
oh, when she's talking about when's the last time you took the helmet off? He's like, oh, yesterday. But he doesn't do it in front of people. And then the window's wide open. And he takes his helmet off while there's people right there. And I'm
That's it.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's like anybody could have just looked up
right?
and saw him without his helmet on. He's like, oh crap, I can't ever put my helmet back on.
like you were saying, how it should have ended.
Yeah, it's not, or like you do like a parody for that.
Don't see me.
That made no sense to me.
Look at my face.
It made no sense because it was like, unless it's like a mirror, like a one-way mirror that he's looking through.
Right, yeah.
But I don't
Maybe
think
he
it
has
was.
no face. It's just like...
Maybe under the helmet is another helmet.
It's another Mandalorian helmet.
It's a helmet with like a full ski mask.
Right, maybe he's got a ski mask
so,
on.
That's where all that.
Keeps
him cool, and
it was kind of interesting.
Eats with.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was more just to show that he does take it off.
But yeah,
as long as
that's a risky move.
As long as it's in private, but I still think it should have been like more private. Like no window.
I just think it showed how comfortable he was in this village.
Like he
said this village,
Although immediately before that, he almost shot the girl.
She blinks.
She sneaks up on him.
She darkened the doorway.
She's just like, what?
Yeah.
For me, right then too, I was like, "What is he doing?"
Right?
I was like,
I was half expecting him to just like draw his blaster and shoot.
That's where the mom was like, "Whoa, you need to eat.
Right? You need food.
You're
eaten?
not the same when you're hungry.
Right?
Seriously, eat a Snickers.
Exactly.
Eat a Snickers.
Not a sponsor.
Desperately needed a Snickers in that one. Oh man, that was bad. But
yeah,
funny.
I think that was one of the biggest things about this whole episode was like there was a lot of choices that I was like that didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, what? Why would they do that? And then what?
Yeah.
It still makes sense if you think about him. Like he's just jumpy because he's a Mandalorian. If he is someone sneaking up, he's just like. He's like always ready type situation.
Yeah, he's always aware of anything that could potentially happen.
But even still, if he was comfortable enough the next minute, but I guess it's after that fact. So then it kind of put him at ease that not everybody's sneaking up on me.
Who knows?
I can
Maybe
take
it's
my
like
helmet
the
off,
Spidey thing where like anytime anything comes near him with the helmet on, it like sends off an alert.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily him being jumpy. It's
just
the tech of his helmet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like always 360 scanning, and it's like something coming to the right. And he jumps.
That's true. It could be.
That could have been.
Could have been something like that.
I don't think they're ever going to explain.
Anyway,
that.
there was just a lot of things, even with the helmet off, with them all right there. It was like, hey, we can see you.
Yeah.
We can see your face, right?
Right.
What?
Oh no, sugars.
All right, so they basically do this training montage because they're like, okay, if we train you, maybe you can fight him off. She tries to talk him out of it because she explains they have...
Because they go...
they go and
he uses the heat vision thing.
Yeah, they went and did some scouting, and they basically found out the coolest part of this episode.
Yeah, it was
an
cool.
ATST.
That's definitely the best part of this whole episode, honestly, was the ATST.
Empire.
And when that showed up, we're like,
other than Cara
snap.
Dune, she's cool. I still really like her.
Yeah.
And almost this whole episode was to show that she has some background stuff. She's got some good ideas.
She knows how to fight.
She knows how to fight.
Yeah.
She's not just a nobody. She's cool.
Right.
And I like that. I also like the little tattoo thing.
She got a little
rebellion.
She was definitely cool. She definitely was able to hang with the Mandalorian. She didn't feel like odd when they were doing the tracking, when they were fighting at the end. She was hanging there with him.
Yeah.
I feel like she definitely played a good part as or maybe in the future becoming a teammate or a
crew member or
something like that. Another one to add.
I think they're going.
I think they will too.
Yeah,
and she'll add
because it's weird.
A lot of that. Yeah,
because that's the other that thing that's been weird for me for a lot of episodes. Like Nick Nolte's only been like 2 episodes and then he leaves, and then it's like IG-11 was only in the first episode.
Yep, and
he's not
he's
around.
Gone, as far as we know.
Then Carl Weathers.
Got shot, but he's still alive.
And so he might
he'll eventually show up.
So it's like all these characters that I feel like could join his crew. I feel like Carl Weathers could. I feel like IG-11 could if they play that. Cara Dune probably is gonna. Yoda might, the baby Yoda, but I don't know. I think he's still, I feel like he's just stuck with baby Yoda at the moment.
That's at the end of every episode.
But then there's also all of the Mandalorians in the culvert. Yep. So it's an interesting thing. Oh, and Nick Nolte for, did I say that?
Yeah, you already said that.
But I mean, he could join the crew. So, I mean, that's almost a crew right there. It's like Nick Nolte, the technician, the mechanic. Yep. Then there's Carl Weathers, which is like the good talker. The one that can get smooth talkers, get the deals, stuff like that. Who can run things well. Then you got the heavy gunner.
Yep.
Cara Dune. You got the assassin droid.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Techno stuff.
Yep.
IG-11.
Although why couldn't he unlock that door?
Who?
In the first episode.
IG-11.
He's like, give me some cover. I'll try and unlock the door. I'm like, where's R2 when you need him?
Right. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Couldn't IG-11 just be like, I'll unlock the door. I've got all the circuitries.
You cover me, I'll unlock the door.
Yeah, I feel like part of it is like,
think he could have unlocked
made
the
a
door
lot more
and
sense.
like covered himself.
Yeah, I was watching the first episode again.
Pew, pew.
Yeah, that's true. That's
over Thanksgiving, I watched it again, and I was like, why don't IG-11 just unlock the door?
Nah, he's
surely.
Just,
happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
He's just,
we're post Thanksgiving here.
Turkey and
you guys have some good turkey?
Yeah,
I did have some good turkey.
Yeah,
food was really
a lot of food.
Oh,
I gained 10 pounds.
It
just
shows
in one plate. All right,
it showed on the live.
We're all
stream.
a bunch of turkeys now. Oh boy,
oh, we got to show that.
Oh, okay, no,
maybe
we
not.
don't have to.
So yeah, it's crazy.
Show it at the end.
No.
Yes.
Did you guys watch any of the other episodes before watching this one over the last week?
I didn't have time, unfortunately.
Okay.
I wanted to. I want to go back and watch them all again just to get.
Oh, I'm sure you'll binge them.
I will. Once
When
they're
the
all
whole-
done,
like,
I'll
all
probably
the
binge
series.
them all again just
Yeah.
to have like a nice, solid all the
Be
way
like,
through.
oh, this makes sense now. Why
Yeah.
they, did this direction with the
Krill?
directing.
The Krill?
The
And
Blue
that's-
Krill.
yeah,
Oh,
that's what I
National
feel like.
Geographic. I
There's-
see you, Disney Plus.
Cross.
They're like
They're all-
promoting. They're like promoting other shows
Next-
in the Mandalorian.
Well, I mean, yeah, they already put Iron Man in the
Yeah.
last episode.
Oh man.
Gotta
I
give
see
me
you.
one of those.
Some people were mentioning the Rocketeer though.
That's
it was
true.
very
yeah.
Rocketeerish.
It did
but
look-
that's
yeah.
also a Disney movie.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Oh.
Oh.
They're just really getting us.
They're getting us.
I've been enjoying Disney Plus, that's for sure.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
not
back
a sponsor.
to
Back to where we were.
back to Mandalorian. Basically, fast forward.
Stay on target.
They do a training montage, which was cool. Reminded you of Seven Samurai or any of those episodes, those movies. And then they finally take on the ATST
Yep.
to really
That-
deliver. They had a really cool plan. It kind of backfired when they went to the. I don't know if they said or they did say the type of like
Oh yeah,
creatures.
what was it?
They did say their names.
they start with a
didn't
B
they?
or something. Fact checker.
Oh man, I'll look it up.
No, it's okay.
Check.
But they
Well,
go over
whatever.
there and then they sneak in there's a little covert stuff.
That was cool.
I like
Yeah.
the
I like
military
them
ops.
working together
Yeah.
on that. That was really cool. And that's what I was saying. Their chemistry really did work well.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
it just worked. They were just out on a mission. It was cool. It felt a little Star Trek-y in some moments still with those creatures, but it still really worked with both of them and how they were like fighting and then putting bombs.
Yeah.
Were they were putting the bombs
It was-
while they were fighting?
No, it was just a bomb,
was
and
just
then they
a
were gonna
bomb.
leave,
one bomb.
and then
then
like
they got
they just
stuck.
kept coming in.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
fighting as the thing is ticking down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Till
Well,
the
they-
last second.
They took too long in that room. But then what was it? All that blue bubbly stuff in there.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted
I think
to know.
that's the.
I think was that krill was it for the
I think that's the stuff that they were
Because they
they
stole
used
all the
krill
krill and
then
they kept them in there to like.
distill that stuff.
yeah.
Whatever it is.
The other thing is like, why were they so desperate to steal the poor little village's krill?
Right.
Was it just the krill that they took? I don't know.
I think it was. Yeah.
It
Because
must
we're
do
krill
some
farmers. They
opening-
took our whole harvest.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It must do something else. I'm
It
guessing
must
it
be
must
like-
Super powered krill.
Well,
like,
because when that
the-
explosion happens, it's a huge explosion.
yeah.
So I'm wondering maybe it's like
Well,
a fuel source,
that's true.
or maybe like
Space
a
whales.
maybe like
I don't know.
alcohol, some kind of.
I don't know.
something.
I don't remember what
Yeah.
blue
Yeah.
krill are in the Star
Space
Wars.
I mean, that
whales.
one.
I need to
one
look that
is-
up. Apparently,
When they first get to the camp, the one is drinking like blue liquid. So
Uh,
I'm wondering if that's
okay.
what it was.
I thought it was. I just feel like it's like a food or a delicacy or something like that.
Yeah.
More so than anything, like shrimp.
Right.
But they
Yeah.
definitely stole the whole harvest and then it blew up.
Yeah.
Right.
They blew up the whole harvest.
Yeah.
So they didn't
And
get
then
it back.
that ATST.
That
And then
sucks.
they-
yeah, you're right. I didn't even
then
think
they're-
about
I
that.
know. And then they're outside and they're like, okay, well, we survived that, thankfully. And then all of a sudden, the coolest thing,
the red eyes.
the red
of the
eyes
ATST.
light up.
yeah,
Like
because they said they'd be coming in hot.
like a T-Rex.
Oh, can I touch on one thing before that end sequence?
Do it.
Was the fact that the mystery or the girl, the lady, who obviously has a connection with the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And she's got the hots for him. It seems like
hasn't seen his face.
Yeah, it's just weird. And how did she know about Mandalorian culture? Was another thing. That was the other thing. I know they had heard stories about it, and maybe that's common in Mandalorian stuff, but it's new to us, new to me.
Yeah.
Because in the Clone Wars, they were taking off their helmets, looking at people.
Yep.
I mean, that was Death Watch, I guess. So maybe Death Watch was a different creed. But Mandalorians were walking around without helmets on all the time. I guess it just depends on where you're at. But even in Rebels, they were doing that. And that was so I don't know. Anyway, that's something else.
Questions.
That's interesting. Maybe they started that after the Purge. Because that might have been pre-Purge Rebels. Because that was before really Episode 4. So anyway, but she knew a lot. She knew about Mandalorian culture, which was interesting. She seemed to kind of know him and know about him, which makes me question who she was married to before. Right. Also, she was a really good shot, like a fantastic shot, which was interesting and kind of begs the question: what was she before? Is there some backstory there, or was? I feel like there's gonna be there might be more to even her character.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll ever go into it.
They focused on her a lot in this episode. If she was just kind of like a one-off character.
She was one of the main characters in this,
this
whole thing, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Did they ever say her name? I don't think they ever said her name the whole time,
She had a daughter that almost lost it at the beginning.
Almost died. And she was tough because she ran into, to save her daughter, really. But she ran at them instead of away like everybody else was. True. And she wanted to fight. She was the one who said, "We're staying."
Right,
yeah.
Basically. Not leaving.
Yeah, and I think her acting, what's her name's there, acting actually worked, Gina Carano's acting worked out well there.
In that moment.
Whenever she was telling them how it is and stuff like that. It was a little bit better.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, so I just thought she was interesting. She was an interesting character. There's a lot of questions I have about her and why she knew about Mandalorian culture, how she was able to basically tell the Mandalorian it'll be fine whenever she took the baby Yoda.
Yep.
Yeah. Was like, you what?
Right.
It's just interesting dynamics there.
Yeah. And then she left. I mean, he left the baby Yoda there while they went out. And that was the first time he's ever left the baby Yoda.
Trusted them.
Anybody.
Yeah. Trusted him not to take his helmet off, like you said.
So that was a cool thing.
Anyway, but back to the and then he did tell them that they would be coming in hot.
Yeah.
They did tell them that they'd be coming in hot.
So those poor farmers were, a little scared.
Yeah.
The ATST,
they did good.
They did good, yeah. The ATST really lights up the night with the creepy red eyes. I mean,
have we
seen an ATST at night before?
I want to say we have in like Clone Wars or Rebels.
Okay.
But I don't remember seeing them with the red
eyes.
No,
I mean red lights, red eyes. That's like the view. That's where they.
It's
so
like
the lights on the controls
inside.
are probably red.
Yeah, it's more just the internal.
But the visuals, the imagery was really cool. That's where all the budget went. Was that whole scene and they're running through the woods.
Yeah, and I mean it really shows you like
that was cool. How they firing and
like they had gotten it obviously from the Empire,
which
and made it their own.
But also begs the question. Where did they get that from?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
I want to know how they took it down without damaging it.
Yeah.
And
maybe they traded that krill stuff.
Maybe. Yeah.
And then they went off world because the ATST looked a little beat up. Just like the.
It had like paint on it too.
Oh, okay. Maybe a different camo or something. But
it was like tribal. Like
okay.
They had painted.
But it looked a little worn down to me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just my. But like the stormtroopers looked their costumes. Their their outfits
uniforms
looked a little beat up. The ATST.
Yeah. I mean,
it's been several years since it's not a brand new model.
Yeah. This is the fall. Empires are already fallen. So I mean,
so they're not making these things fresh off the line anymore.
Like you said, maybe they traded that stuff, that blue stuff, for one of those. Maybe they're still selling them on the black market or something.
That's true. I'm thinking they're pretty. The krill must be something about it must be valuable.
It's got to be.
And Dave Filoni doesn't put stuff in, and if he's producing it, I mean, I know Favreau wrote the whole thing, but Filoni. He put that space whales in.
Yeah, and it came back to be
a real big thing. I kept thinking about that, and then it was like in the series finale, like one of the last shots. Spoiler. Spoiler talk. So anyway, I think we're getting close to wrapping it up here, guys.
You got to wrap it up. But that was.
It was a pretty epic fight at the end. They took down the.
That was cool.
It was a good plan.
That was definitely like the payoff of all the slow stuff at the beginning. Like that was awesome. That was worth I mean, not that anything wasn't worth it, but that was like really cool. That was the peak of the show, of the episode. I was like, ATST firing, they're fighting. Like, it was a pretty big fight again. Again, for a TV show to have a pretty big fight like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty epic, even though they were dog creatures, but.
Yeah.
I love how it like walks up to the trap, which is like that pool of water. And it just like looks down at it like, oh, I see what's going on here.
Kind of,
yeah. And then it just like looks at the.
Well, it just knew it didn't know how deep or how well it would walk in water.
It reminded me so much of Jurassic Park with like a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Like, you know, with a or any, you know, predator animal, they got a trap laid for it. It's like a movie trope.
Oh, yeah,
it's just about to step in it, and you're like, yes, we got it. And then it always backs off. You're like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Well, Bryce Dallas Howard was in
Jurassic World. And I thought of the relation, but whatever.
And she kind of made it kind of freaky there with that. It also was interesting how that front thing like grips. I never noticed that. Really.
It's got like toes on it.
Got like the toe on it. That kind of grips in.
Maybe it's been modified,
which is pretty cool. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, and then basically how they had to improvise on you know, the plan never works. Go to plan B. Yeah. Also showed how tough and how good she is on the fly. Yeah, Cara Dune.
Yeah, and not afraid of running straight at an ATST.
No. Well, I think it's because she's literally dealt with them in the future.
Yeah, she warned them. She's seen them take out entire armor platoons. Yeah.
You know what it reminded me of?
What?
It reminded me of that scene in Solo where they're the mud troopers.
Oh, yeah.
And they're fighting on that
I love
stuff.
that scene. I wanted that scene to go on for a lot longer.
Yeah. Like, honestly, if they put more scenes like that.
Yeah, seriously.
If they put more scenes like that in this show. Oh.
Yeah.
It would be intense.
Oh, man.
The only ones that we've ever seen of actual war on the boots, boots on the ground, is like Han Solo in that scene, which isn't very long.
No,
it's like a second of the war, and then there's this is movies, and then there was Rogue One had a tiny bit of them fighting. I mean, it was a decent amount, but it wasn't really like war like Han Solo's was.
Well, Han Solo,
and then the only other place.
Crazy good.
The only other place that you really seen a bunch of it was in Clone Wars.
Yep.
And that was epic. But I want to see like a live action version.
Imagine this. So like a war movie, but like maybe something like the Battle of Jakku or something like that.
Yeah.
And they like start off like before, you know how they
Band
do
of
like
Brothers.
Band of Brothers. Yeah.
Band of Brothers.
And they build up about this all the time. Like do a Band of Brothers series. But like follow stormtroopers
in Star Wars,
seriously, and leading up to like a big epic battle or over a season,
it would be,
or even a film would be really cool if they did it right. But that'd be so cool.
One of the ones it's crazy. It's probably not everybody's favorite, but one of my favorite arcs in all of Clone Wars, and I think would transfer very well into a movie, is actually the arc where it's General Krell, which is the Jedi. Spoilers.
If you haven't watched
it. But he goes to the dark side.
Yeah.
But it's all about they're on Umbara.
Clone Wars.
Yeah,
that was Umbara. An epic arc.
That arc, it's like I just literally want them to take that whole arc and that whole thing and make a movie about that. Because that was epic. That was so good. Because it was like great. It was troops. There was like being led astray.
Yep.
They had to follow blindly, but then they had to figure it out. And then it was like turning. There was so many dynamics just to that arc that it was fantastic. And some of the action sequences when they're fighting, it's like, this is fantastic stuff. I want them to take that and put that in there. Anyway, stay on target.
Spectacular.
Stay on target.
But that's what they should do. Disney, make a actual boots on the ground. Like you kind of promised with Rogue One, but kind of didn't deliver. You did, but you didn't.
You're just bashing the movie.
No, I'm not bashing the movie. I'm just saying that they kind of advertised it like it was going to be a boots on the ground Star Wars movie. Yeah. I remember them talking about
definitely
it.
With the
but it really wasn't that much.
Trailers and stuff.
It wasn't that much.
There was a couple
it was like
moments,
a small skirmish.
Yeah.
Not like a war movie like we want. We kind of want a Star Wars movie where you follow like a Band of Brothers.
Well, see, that's why it would work perfectly in like a series.
Yeah.
Because you could just keep going.
It would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway. Stay on target.
No,
make that movie target.
So the show pretty much ended with all of a sudden this guy showed up with a fob tracking them.
At the very end.
To move the show along.
Well, we didn't even say what happened though to the walker.
They took it down.
They took it down.
Which is pretty cool.
They were
though.
successful. Yeah.
She got it to come, fall into the thing. How did she get it to actually fall in? I forget.
She jumped up. She's like, "Hey, look at me!" Like, or
Didn't someone shoot it?
She
Then
kept,
it fell in or
she
something?
kept shooting it.
Oh, okay.
She just jumped out and literally put herself on the line.
And then she shoot it in like the eye or something?
She tried to hit like underneath.
And then didn't
And
how did it fall
just
in?
No, it just keeps getting closer.
Oh, okay.
And
Just
then
got too
like
close.
Finally
gets to the
did
very
step in
edge
the hole.
and like
And it
the
kinda
ground just gives out.
So the plan ultimately did work.
Yeah, it did
just
work.
didn't
She-
fall for the
She
trap.
baited them in it,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is pretty fearless to bait an ATST
Right.
into the water, and then he runs up and delivers the final blow.
It's
with a
also
grenade.
still shooting. It
Yeah,
still shoots at
I know,
him.
which was cool on the ground.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
still shooting.
I was
yeah.
like, if he was like that way, he would have just got hit in the best car and just flew back like 20 feet.
yeah.
Oh man.
I'm sure he would have been
Crazy.
knocked unconscious, but
Yeah, but
been
that was cool how
hilarious.
they did end up destroying it, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although in some ways I was like, it would have been nice if they didn't destroy it. Then we'd have some defense.
Yeah, that is true. I mean,
They could maybe rebuild it.
we
will
but
rebuild.
He blew it up though. So.
That's true. I know. It would be difficult. And
Yeah,
I don't
one-
think they really wanted
One
that
thing
anyway,
about that, the whole ATST is kind of nitpicky, but do you realize when you see the eyes, it's
Yeah.
like actually looking into the ATST.
Yeah.
You don't actually see somebody in there.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You never do. It's just red.
Which is a little weird.
And it's
I know,
like you
'cause
should actually be able to see like
it seems like you
maybe
should see
one or
some
two
face, like a
like,
face there.
heads, but I mean, whatever.
pupil.
And
That's
like
just
a
being,
you know,
that's
like a
being
tank though.
nitpicky.
You see the turret and the gunner or the guys are way farther down in the belly.
Yeah,
of it,
but
operating.
I mean, those windows
Are
pretty big.
well, and those windows are
Yeah,
supposed to
and
be
I mean,
for
in-
viewing out of,
Yeah.
right?
You see in
they showed him in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
Return of the Jedi,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a
Yeah.
little weird. That is a little weird to me too, because it seems like the red eyes was more for effect than it was practical use.
Yeah.
Because
Or maybe it wasn't even.
you know, 'cause
maybe they couldn't even see out of them.
Could be.
I don't remember. I
Maybe
think
they had
they
like
did
a-
have digital screens. Though, I believe
maybe that
too.
was it.
Because in the Return of the Jedi, they close those hatches in the
Yeah.
front, right?
Yeah.
You close those hatches. I mean, because it's a tank,
That's true.
Do
so
they
you don't
close-
want those open.
Yeah,
But they had them open
Right.
for some reason, so I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe it was ventilation.
But
it's
yeah,
hot.
it's a little
hot on that plane.
it's a little nitpicky. It was that red was actually fire.
It was just on fire from the
They're just
inside.
on
They're just like,
Wow.
every time we drive this.
right? Oh, look,
crazy.
a puddle. I want to go down there, but I don't want to go down there.
Oh man.
So anyway, yeah, like you were
Yeah.
saying, though,
No,
at the very
so
end.
then they basically offered, "Hey, we'll keep Baby Yoda,
Yep.
and you can just head on your merry way." And he actually agreed to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was crazy.
That was his
And
plan.
then she tried to get his helmet off.
she tried to get
That
him to stay.
Foul temptress.
Yeah, she tried to get
How
him to
dare
stay.
you.
I think they were having a little, love moment there, and you could tell he maybe was thinking about it.
Yeah.
So I think they're kind of hinting at maybe in the future,
Yeah.
if things settle down again, he's always got a place to come back to. Hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
He's got backup options.
But I mean, he tells her
Retirement.
He says,
Retirement.
"I don't belong here."
Yeah.
So yeah, you never know. He could change
At this phase of his
tune.
life, maybe. But,
right?
Yeah. Good change.
but then that guy,
then,
that fob
yeah, the
guy
bounty
shows
hunter
up.
shows up.
All of a sudden,
Yeah.
out of the blue, like everything's kind of relaxed,
Yeah.
and this bounty hunter shows up, and you're like, who's this guy? He had a pretty cool outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did. Cool looking bounty
Suit.
hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And then he aims at the Mando's head right as she's about to take the helmet off.
And you're like,
Right.
what?
And you're
you're
like,
like, "Oh, no, don't do it."
Snap. And
Well,
then,
And then he
and-
shifts aim to the
and then he
baby
shifted
Yoda,
aim.
Yeah.
and it's like, "Oh no!"
Which
Please
in some
don't.
ways you were like,
Yeah.
did they put out when they was aiming at the Mandalorian? It was almost like they were hinting at maybe they put out a fob
Right.
On
for the
either or.
on the Mandalorian.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But then when he shifts back to the baby Yoda, then you're like, okay, he's still just there for the baby
Yep.
Yoda.
Yeah.
Which and you're like, oh snap, are they
Right.
gonna take out baby Yoda?
I actually thought they were going to again.
Yeah.
They did a
well,
good
and then
job.
you hear
of-
the shot, and you're like, "Oh, please, God, no!"
That's, if you realize
Please,
that's,
not
that's
Baby Yoda.
twice.
Shoot
now.
the man.
There was
No,
a
I'm
gun
just
fixed on the baby Yoda. That's 2 times.
Yeah.
Episode 1 and this one was fixed on the baby Yoda, and then a gunshot goes off.
That's
Yeah,
true.
it is
First time
true.
it was shooting IG-11, and this time
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
You're
Cara
right. I didn't
Dune
realize
shooting
that.
the bounty hunter
Yeah,
guy.
shot him in
That's
the
a
back.
good call.
So, and then I was thinking, I'm like, if you were the bounty hunter, and let's say you had to get the baby Yoda, the villagers don't scare you.
Yeah.
Right.
Wouldn't you still shoot the Mando first?
And then
Just
Yeah.
because if you shoot the baby Yoda, you still got to go get him.
Yeah.
Now the Mando knows you're there. He's not going to let you get away.
Yeah.
ooh,
You know, I would.
That's
I
true.
feel like from a bounty hunter's perspective, maybe the guy wasn't the best. That's why
Right.
he didn't make it. But
I mean,
I'm
he
like,
was able to track him there at least.
Maybe
so
it
he
was
had to
the
have been
dust
decent.
breather.
It's the dust breather.
You had your chance.
You had
dust
your
breather.
chance.
Now get out.
all right, you got one more chance.
Yeah.
And he's dead.
And he's
Wow.
dead. Well,
No,
Rest in peace, Dust
He's
Breather.
probably pretty decent for the fact that he had a fob and was able to follow him all the way out there.
Yeah, well, Steph pointed out too that when it looked like she was going to take the helmet off that he was aiming at her, and then when it came back on, then he went for the Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
maybe
point.
because it's Beskar, the helmet,
Yeah.
maybe, and so he
probably
knew that if
couldn't
he
kill
shot
him
it
in one shot.
Yeah, not in the head.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, it would all just been because he probably has back armor like we talked about before.
Yeah,
I mean, but his neck might have been exposed.
That's
You
true.
never know.
Yeah, if he's a good enough shot.
nitpicky,
Right?
nitpicky.
But anyway, yeah. So we were wondering, and
Yeah.
then she shot him. It wasn't.
Yeah,
he
it
didn't
was
actually shoot
Cara
Baby
Dune.
Yoda, which
Yeah.
we were thankful for. We're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
don't kill
I
him.
was
Don't
like,
kill Baby Yoda.
Don't do it.
So he realized Mando's like, we got to hit the road. So he grabs Baby Yoda. They jump in the ship and
Yep.
off to the races now.
Well, basically, then because he was about to leave with Baby Yoda there. I mean,
Yeah,
he was
leaving
ready
the
to
Baby
go.
Yoda behind.
Yeah.
He had basically
And then-
agreed. Yeah,
And then Cara Dune shot the
Yeah.
guy in the back, which was the shot, not the actual shot of the Baby Yoda,
right.
which is cool. It shows that Cara Dune is still looking out, is still tough,
Yep.
is still cool, and
She's still got skills.
she's got skills, man.
Skills to pay the bills.
But then, but then basically he's like, "Oh crud, we can't. I can't leave
him here.
Baby Yoda,"
Yeah,
which
he's
I was
still
kind
a
of like
target.
thankful for too.
Yeah,
I was
well,
like,
'cause
"Oh man, don't
You're
leave
like,
Baby
why
Yoda."
would you leave him there?
I was like,
Yeah.
Baby Yoda is too awesome to not having this show right now.
I agree. Yeah, but I for part of me thought, well, everybody else has been in an episode or two.
That's
you know,
true,
right?
yeah.
And this is his second full. This is his third full episode. But
yeah.
it's true. The only person that's been in every episode so far is the Mando and Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking from now on, maybe he'll go stay with somebody
I think
now.
I think his plan still is to find a place that he can put the Mandalorian. Otherwise,
Yeah.
if he might just have to come to the conclusion that they're never going to stop hunting this Baby Yoda,
Yep.
I'm going to have
He's
to
gonna
go after the
defend
people
him
that are
with
coming
his life.
after him.
Right.
I think he's going to.
It's kind of crazy.
I think he
for
might
that-
turn around and go after the people that are hunting the
Yeah.
Baby Yoda. And that might be the only way
Yeah.
the Baby Yoda and
Yeah.
him can have some peace.
But for that reason alone, I feel like crew is in order.
Yep.
Because he needs
That's
somebody
true.
that he can trust to stay behind with the Baby Yoda and watch the ship or whatever they got to do.
Yeah.
And then some other people to help him go take out some fools.
Right.
Because he can't just keep dropping off the Baby Yoda at every random village. He can't just leave him in the ship because he doesn't stay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this weird conundrum now. He's got to survive. He tried it on this far off desert, or not desert, but jungle planet.
Yeah.
You know, whatever, not jungle, but you know what I mean.
Forest.
Yeah. This is forest.
Yeah,
Yeah. that makes sense.
foresty planet. So yeah, I don't know where it's going to go next. Any thoughts?
The only other thing I just wonder about how this Baby Yoda ties into the bigger universe of Star Wars. Like
Right.
really, with it knowing the Force or being able to use the Force, that it's 50 years old, it's so highly sought after by it seems like evil people and leftover Imperials. They're trying to extract things out of it.
Yeah.
What are they trying to extract?
Yeah.
I mean, what bigger issue is this going to tie into? I think because this was such a smaller episode, I wasn't really thinking about the bigger issue, but now I'm thinking like I still am wondering what the bigger plan is for this Baby Yoda. Is it going to tie directly in with Luke and his new potential, Jedi Order, stuff like that? So those are questions that I have about and I think that's how the show could get bigger
Yeah.
as to where this takes him. They haven't touched upon the fact that the Baby Yoda can use the Force again since episode
Right.
2, really, and then them trying to extract stuff. So that's the only I think thing that I'm wondering too, because obviously that's a big arc. I mean, that's so far this is the arc of the show.
Yeah.
Is centered really around
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda,
And it's still there.
and it's still there. I mean, the Mandalorian is the main character, and it's the journey of him
Yeah.
protecting and finding this Baby Yoda. He's still a bounty hunter and stuff like that, but it's really Baby Yoda. So what's going on there? How are they going to tie it in? I wonder if they're going to bring in a young Luke potentially.
Yeah.
We've talked about that. Or still other. Are we going to find out more about the outer reaches? What's
Right.
going on with like the First Order at this time, which isn't really a thing, but it is. It's like at the very beginning.
I think Herzog is in that starting it back up.
Yeah.
I think,
Potentially.
probably.
And they haven't brought
My
in
guess.
the other guy though. Like I keep talking about, and I always forget his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
But-
other villain.
I think he's an actual Moff. I don't think he's a Grand
Okay.
Moff, but I think he's a
Not
Moff.
a Grand Moff.
Hmm.
Just
So
a Moff.
anyway, I
Well,
think
I
he's going to come in soon,
And I
and
think
that's
they
gonna,
left this episode off like they did the first episode. You're like, what does this mean? Where are they going now?
yeah.
Right.
It's kind of the start of the second second set of chapters, even though it's chapter 4 or whatever.
So let's just get overall thoughts of the episode real fast. You want to go?
Yeah, I thought it was one of the weaker. Out of the 4, it was the weakest in my opinion. But that doesn't mean it was a bad episode. This is an amazing show so far, and they've sowed so many great seeds. I'm just in love with the show and excited for number 5.
Yeah.
But some epic moments furthered the story. Kind of saw him take his helmet off. Was my favorite moments.
Yep.
And the Cara Dune finally came in halfway through now, and she was really good.
Yeah.
I liked the dynamic. I liked it if she did join the crew, it would work very well. So great writing overall.
Yep. Yeah, and I would agree that it's not the strongest episode. It kind of detracts from you don't know what universe you're in when it starts out. But it obviously by the end you're like, oh yeah, that was great. The fight was great. The ATST was great. Good surprise. I think Bryce Dallas Howard did a good job, but it could have been done better.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there is room for improvement, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't make the show go backwards.
Yeah, right.
It just plateaued for me. Yeah.
Doesn't make you any less excited for the next episode,
right?
Yeah.
No,
I'm still super.
I
pumped.
think the next episode is probably gonna be starting to build the crew. I would hope so.
Okay.
I don't know about Cara
That's your
Dune.
predictions.
Yeah. Cool.
I don't know about Cara Dune yet because she left, and maybe they'll wait a few episodes to get her back in there.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll run into Carl Weathers again. He'll be like, Mando.
Yeah.
You've been a bad boy.
Yeah. So overall, kind of plateaued.
It was good.
It wasn't the best.
It wasn't
episode,
the best.
Still great,
Yeah.
but not fantastic.
Yeah.
It's still about 10 or 11.
It was
10.
I had to quit.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I felt like this episode was it almost felt like a detour just to introduce Cara Dune. It kind of felt like a detour and a potential retirement for the Mando and others, which I feel like was almost a little bit early to show that in a way. Just because we only have seen 3 episodes of The Mandalorian. He's awesome. Why would you want to give this up right away? It makes sense, but at the same time, it was a bit of a detour. It kind of felt like, it made sense because it showed that there's still people after and he's not safe anywhere he goes right now.
Right.
And we needed to see Cara Dune, which I thought her inclusion was cool. That was really cool. The ATST was really cool. It showed that they also have good hearts, and they want to help people. Obviously, they were getting paid to do it, but they wanted to help, and they did help a village be able to protect things. They definitely did 7 Samurai.
Yep.
Yeah.
But really, it was kind of one and done. Unless they do bring those people in that plot back later. Right now, it's just we're sitting at, okay, you went there for an episode. We learned a little bit more about the Mandalorian. We learned about Cara Dune. We learned that he's a cool new helmet thing with heat seeking.
Yeah.
Which I guess they kind of showed before. And we learned about the helmet and stuff like that, taking it off, and he did that stuff. But yeah, it just wasn't the greatest episode, but it wasn't bad. Again, like we've all said, it's still good. It's still great because it's a Mandalorian. I mean, having him and Baby Yoda, really, I could watch him walk around in the woods and do anything. It would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm more excited for the next show. I think what's going to happen is maybe closer to the end of the season, we're going to get the crew together. I think it's going to be like he's going to need their help to do something or get something done. Right. And the people that he's met along the way, he's going to ask for their help or get their help in some ways.
It'll be like a true 7 Samurai. He's kind of met them along the way, and then he starts going back and really organizing them.
Yeah, because like I was saying before, all of the people he met, I feel like could add up to be a great crew to help with a certain situation. And that would really tie into the 7 Samurai.
Oh, yeah.
So
it could be really, really epic.
Wasn't a bad episode.
Yeah.
A little bit of a detour. A little bit different execution on things, but still a fantastic episode. I liked it. I still liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. I'm sure you have an opinion out there too. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Sorry we couldn't live stream this one today.
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
It's, it's all good. I think the line for today, if we didn't I have spoken, was "Till our paths meet." Wasn't that
till
what she said?
Till our paths cross.
Till our paths cross. I like that.
Till our paths cross.
I like that slogan at the end. It stuck with me.
Yep.
When they shook hands, till our paths cross.
Or one of my favorite lines in the whole one was, Want some soup?
You want some soup?
You want some soup?
Want some soup? That was good. I like
great.
that.
Yeah.
It was epic.
Breaks the tension.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for tuning
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Any further thoughts?
No.
Hopefully
McClunky.
next
McClunky.
McClunky for sure. Yes. This show is awesome. We're having fun talking about it.
Thank you guys. Thanks
Yeah.
everybody's watching, listening, like and subscribe. We want to hear
Yeah.
your thoughts for sure.
Love
And look
it.
out for our live streams. We'll try and let you guys know when they're coming if we can.
Yeah, the goal is to be able to do these live, and so we
Yeah.
can get some live comments
Oh,
and
yeah, we'd love
get you
that.
guys to give us some feedback. We can have like a section for that, and that'll be a lot of fun. So we're building toward that, and hey, we're only 5 episodes in, and we're having a lot of fun so far.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It can
Good
only
show.
go up from here.
Yeah, we got a lot of fun
Hopefully.
things in
Hopefully.
store. We got some goofiness and all kinds of
Right.
cool stuff
Oh,
coming
yeah.
out. So yeah.
Yes.
Well, thanks, Nick. Thanks,
Yeah.
Dustin.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
Dan.
you.
Yeah. Well, stay on target.
Stay on target.
Stay on target.
They came from behind.
Loosen up. That was great.
I forgot where it goes from there. They can probably hear us though.
Here we
can't
go.
they?
We're going in.
What is that? How embarrassing. I hope nobody saw that.
Oh my god.
Oh, it hurts to laugh. Oh,
I think
gosh.
it's still here.
Yeah,
And
probably.
they're just like, what is happening?
They're like, why are they dying in there?